Hello, it's Monica from Crafting with Quilling Lady, and today I've got my third day of Easter project for you. In today's video, I'm going to show you step by step how to create an Easter egg box with no cutting dies that measures 6 3/4 of an inch by 3 1/4 of an inch. Later in the video, I'm also going to tell you about the giveaway I've got for you. For my project, I'm going to use my colorful Easter collection, which has 16 design papers, but also some beautiful elements to fussy cut, just perfect for Easter projects. For today's box, you will need a 3 size card, and I cut mine into 10 1/2 of an inch by 11 1/2 of an inch. So let's create some score lines. The very first one is at 1 3/4 all the way down. Then all the other one are at 2 3/4 of an inch. The third scoring line is at 4 1/2 of an inch. Then the next one is at 5 1/2 of an inch. So you got half of a box at the moment. The next scoring line is at 7 1/4. Then we need 8 1/4 of an inch. The next scoring line is at 10 inches. And the very last one will be at 11 inches, which means on the right hand side we're going to have a flap that will close our box, which I think is really cool. When all those scoring lines are ready, all the way down, we're going to rotate our card 90 degrees. And we're going to create 4 more score lines. So let's do it together, which is super simple. The first scoring line is at 1 3/4 all the way down. Then we need 3 1/2 of an inch. The next one is at 7 inches. And the very last score line is at 8 3/4 of an inch. Super easy, right? So our card looks like a really cool grid at the moment. So now it will be time to get your scissors, or you can also use a craft knife, and we're going to cut a few rectangles off. If you want, you can take screenshots of the finished cutting of rectangles, or you can just craft along, and that'll be absolutely perfect. So I'm going on my scoring lines I created, and I'm going to get rid of all the small rectangles from the very top and the bottom. So it will look like a castle in the end, but stay tuned for that. As I told you, I also have a giveaway for you. And if you'd like to get my colorful Easter collection, there are a couple of rules to follow. So all of them will be in the description down below, so you can check them out. The first rule is you have to be a visible subscriber to my YouTube channel, Crafting with Quilling Lady. You have to watch and comment under all 10 days of Easter projects. Then I want you to watch any other 7 tutorials on my channel. Can be the recent one or even old ones. It doesn't really matter. Then I want you to download any project that I've got for free from Buy Me a Coffee website, and I left the link in the description down below. Then I want you to leave the name of the free project that you downloaded under the 10th day of Easter, and the deadline is the 15th of March. So all the rules will be in the description down below. Now, when all those rectangles are ready, we're going to create some marks, and that will help us to actually create that 3D look on the box. So the first one is at 2 1/4. Then I need 5 inches, 7 3/4, and then I need 10 1/2 of an inch. And I have to do exactly the same at the very bottom. So all I have to do, I'm going to put my scoring tool on my board, and then it is so much easier. So the first one is at 2 1/4, then I need 5 inches, then 7 3/4, and 10 1/2 of an inch. If you want, you can use a pencil to do it. However, I decided to use my scoring tool, which I think it is so much easier to use. So now we're going to create score lines from our mark to the corner. So the easiest way to do it is to go along the line you already have. Then I'm going to rotate my card and make sure it matches the black line and the mark I created. And I'm going to repeat the process on all 8 panels here. So again, I'm going to go all the way down through my black line, then rotate it until I see the mark and then create a score line. So in the end, we've got very nice triangle. So I need to repeat the process on all the other elements. So this way, our box is going to look like an Easter egg, which I think is super, super cool. And to be honest, there will be plenty of space to put any sweets inside. Or if you want, you can put anything else inside the box. The choice is absolutely yours. Have you ever created a box for Easter? If you haven't, I really, really hope you'll feel inspired because this box maybe looks complicated, but in the end, I try to make all the measurements very easy to follow. So as you can see, my top is ready. Now we have to repeat it at the bottom. So again, I'm going to line it up with the black line on my scoring board, then go to the mark. Super quick and simple. And if you want, you can use any design papers to create your project. To be honest, it doesn't have to be for Easter. However, I think it'll be super cool. So, if you do celebrate Easter, I really hope you'll craft along with me for those 10 days of Easter projects because every single day I'm going to have something different for you. If you haven't seen the first day and second day, I'm going to link them at the end of this video so you can check them out. So now, when all those score lines are ready, you probably know what we have to do. We have to fold and burnish all those score lines. Super quick and simple. And then decisions. How do you want to decorate your box? And I think my colorful Easter collection is just perfect. That's why I decided to use purple as a base for my box, because you can also use some white. However, I really wanted to create a very colorful project today. So as you can see, we also have a flap on one of the sides. Now it is time to fold and burnish the top and the bottom of the box. And this is very crucial because later on it will be so much easier for you to create that box. So always use a scoring tool or bone folder to burnish all those score lines. It looks like it takes a lot of time, but actually it doesn't. The whole box together took me 50 minutes to create. So, if you want to create something special for someone absolutely amazing, I think that is the project. Now, with the triangles, I'm going to pinch them so they actually go inside at the top. It will make sense later on. So, as you can see, I'm trying to pinch the top of the triangle and put it inside. When this is ready, as I told you, then you have to decide how do you want to decorate the box. And I think it is so much easier if you decorate the box before you assemble it. Because it is so much easier because you can put your card flat on your surface. Do you like to create Easter projects? If you don't, maybe this year is a year for you to try something new. And if you like fancy folds, don't forget that on the 5th of March, we're going to have absolutely amazing fancy fold for you. So stay tuned for that. Now it is time to finish off those flaps, and with the triangle at the top and the bottom, I need to make it wider at the top and very narrow at the bottom. It will make sense because when you fold those flaps, we want all the amount to be just perfect. So now, when this is ready, let's create all those mats for our beautiful box. So I do have some leftovers from my collection, so I thought that would be just perfect to use them. So you don't really need to start any new sheet of design paper. You can use whatever is in your stash. So my bigger panel is 3 1/4 by 1.5 of an inch. The smaller one is 3/4 by 3 1/4 of an inch. So in the end, I need 4 panels like this and then 4 smaller ones. As you can see, I try to have the same color palette here. However, you can decorate the box the way you want. And I think this is so cool. And as I told you, there is plenty of space to put lots of sweets inside. So when all these panels are ready, it will be time to assemble them. And my very best trick here is to use a liquid glue because I do have time to maneuver the elements. And now I'm going to have a beautiful purple border around all those elements. And that's exactly what I wanted. So if you do like making dimensional projects, I really hope you'll give this box a go. I think it is super cool. I created some boxes for Christmas projects, so that's why I thought let's create some boxes for Easter as well. And I think this has really cool shape as well. So when these elements are ready, I had a look at the squares just above and I thought they looked so empty. So I decided to add beautiful design papers as well. So in the end, I need 8 squares that will measure 1.5 of an inch by 1.5 of an inch. So again, it is 1.5 by 1.5, and I need 8 of those all together. When they are ready and cut, it is time to assemble them on a box. So in the end, as you can see, the box is pretty easy to create. And I do encourage you to use a liquid glue because you will have time to maneuver the elements, and when the glue is set, the box will be perfectly and professionally finished. So, then you have to decide do you want the lighter color or darker color at the very bottom of your box. The choice is absolutely yours, and then you can decorate it the way you want. In my collection, I've got lots of elements to fussy cut that are perfect for this project. So I'm going to show you them later on. Now I'm going to put the flaps together. I'm going to use my liquid glue. And now you have to make sure the glue is set before you move on to the next step. And I really, really mean it. So it is time to open it. As you can see, I've got 2 panels on the left and now 2 panels on the right. I think it is so much easier to do it on a flat surface. Now, when this is ready, we need to make some holes to put a ribbon through. And to do it, I'm going to use my ruler and a pencil to find the middle point. So I'm going to place my ruler from corner to the corner, make a mark slightly like in the middle. Then I'm going to do it on 2 other corners. So I'm going to put a cross in the middle. And that will be my guide where to create a hole in my box for the ribbon. So I'm going to do the same process on all the squares here. And when they are ready, I'm going to use my pokey tool. So in the end, you don't really need any fancy tools or equipment to create this project, which I think is really, really cool. Now I'm going to use my pokey tool. Just be careful and you don't poke your fingers. And when this is ready, just to make sure it is professionally finished, I'm going to erase the pencil marks. So then it looks like it was already made for us. Super cool, right? So when these elements are ready, we can assemble the rest of the box. So to do it, I'm going to start with the bottom first. I'm going to pinch my triangles inside and I'm going to use my liquid glue. And I do encourage you to go with the opposite sides here. So I'm going to put one and then the one that is opposite. Make sure the glue is set. Then I can put a little bit more liquid glue and then attach all the other flaps. And then the box will stay proudly on a flat surface, which I think is super, super cool, right? And do please make sure the glue is set before you move on. If you want, you can also use some red liner tape. However, I think liquid glue is the best option here. So, when this is ready, then you can either decorate the box or you can put a ribbon through. The choice is absolutely yours. If you have any excess of the glue, now is the time to get rid of it. So as you can see, the box will close really beautifully and I really, really like it. So there is plenty of space. I'm not really sure if you can see it in the camera here because the cut is pretty dark. However, there is plenty of space. And I couldn't resist. I really wanted to use this ribbon for a very long time from my stash. So it has those beautiful polka dot design and it's yellow. And yellow is the color when I think about Easter. So I'm going to make 4 knots at the bottom, and this way the box will close beautifully. So if you have maybe like wider ribbon, it will be perfectly fine. However, I've got this very narrow one, so I need to create 4 knots at the bottom. And as you can see, they are not very perfect, but it doesn't really matter. So when they are ready, then you can use my trick. So I'm going to use low tack tape from my stash and I'm going to put it at the end of the ribbon. So this way it's going to be very easy to thread it through the holes we created. So as you can see, you need to create a very nice point at the top. And if this doesn't work, you can do it again. And I will do it with the other ribbon because I didn't have very nice point tip. But it is super easy to do it. So when this is ready, I'm going to start from the inside of the box and one of the flaps. So let's do it together. I'm going to thread it all the way until I've got my knot, and then I'm going to repeat it with the other ribbon. However, this one didn't work, so again, I'm going to use a little bit more of low tack tape. So it is super simple, as I told you. If you want, you can also use some other tools to go through the holes. However, I think this is the easiest option. So when this is ready, then I'm going to go to the next flap again from the inside of the box to the outside. And I'm going to thread the ribbon. And I'm going to repeat the process. So as I told you, in my colorful Easter collection, there are lots of elements to fussy cut, and I also created mini Easter collection as well. And some of the designs you're going to see, especially the Easter eggs, come from this collection. And if you do like my colorful Easter collection, I left all the links in the description down below to buy me a coffee website where you can get this collection. However, if you really like it, don't forget to take part in my giveaway. And all the rules are in the description down below. And I think it is worth the effort. Now it is time to cut the excess off, especially with that low tack tape. Create a bow and our box is completed. But I thought, no, let's use a few elements to decorate it even more. So here you can see all of them from my mini Easter collection. And I also have a sentiment as well in the shape of a bunny, which I think is really cool. I couldn't decide which eggs to put on the box because they all have ombre effect, and that's what I really like about colors. You can play with them all the time. And then I decided not only to have some Easter eggs, but also a chick and a rabbit. I think they're just so cool. And I couldn't resist, so in the end, I also put a lamb as well, which I think is just perfect for any Easter project. So, if you like all those elements, please check Buy Me a Coffee website. All the links are in the description down below. So, my very best friend here is a liquid glue because again I'm going to maneuver all those elements. However, if you want to add some dimension, you can also use some double-sided foam adhesive and that will be perfectly fine. So now this is my very last element and the box is complete. As you can see, I tried to put a few more eggs, but then I thought it is done. So, what do you think about this Easter egg shaped box? Do you like it? If you do, please let me know in the comments down below. And if you do feel inspired, I really hope you'll create your own version. Thank you so much for watching, and here you can see video from the very first and the second day of Easter project this year. And don't forget that I'm going to have a couple of more videos coming your way very soon. And on the 5th, we're going to have really cool fancy fold for you. Have a wonderful day and see you in my next video. Happy crafting!